Okay, so I put a poll out. You guys pick the next video, and last time I looked, so I'm doing it now, is why do I collect for 2025? I have done one of these before, like a while ago, maybe like 2 years ago or something, I think, anyway, from what I can recall. But yeah, I think I got a little bit more to say on this one, so it won't be an overly long video, just talking about my why do I collect, you know, some reasons, like which compels me to want to acquire this, like, a massive stuff. There's a number of reasons, actually, and then there's reasons why I collect the way that I do as well. Like, there's that. A lot of things, really. Yeah, so I'll do it off the top of my head and stuff. Just thought I'd sit down, come on, do a little video. Yeah. Change the position a little bit from where I film. I might do that a little bit sometimes. I do like my normal kind of like angle for filming, but I just thought I'd try a different backdrop in the room, you know, switch the mind up a little bit, you know, do things a little bit differently, like shake it up slightly, if you will. So why do I collect? Well, the main reason, and this is very simple and it won't be surprising really, is because I just love it. I love collecting films on physical, like obviously love all the different formats. Started you know, like acquiring VHS when I was younger. Like, you know, my parents used to buy them for me and I had like a fairly good VHS collection. Then went on to DVD later on, amassed a lot of DVDs over the years. Went into Blu-ray in 2007 when I got a PlayStation 3. That was the first game console with Blu-ray capabilities, and then eventually Blu-ray won the format wars with, like, was it HD DVD, which I never had any of, although having an Xbox 360, but that had at the time you had to buy a separate drive for your HD DVDs and attach it or link it up. I just had the 360, and then I got PS3, decided to collect Blu-ray, started off kind of collecting just like, you know, standard releases, because the boutique labels weren't so like prevalent at that time. This is going back like 2007 onwards, and then collected Blu-ray sort of not as intense as I do now, but, you know, picking up the latest film, because at the time as well streaming hadn't sort of like taken over per se, if you will. So basically, you know, having physical, you know, even in the late 2000s was still quite important, because, like, yes, you could hire movies that had just been released, rent them through services like Sky Box Office at the time and things like that, which I didn't do often later on. I did a little bit earlier on, you know, for a few pounds you used to be able to do that. Obviously now you have you can just rent from like the iTunes store and Amazon. If you want to see a new movie, you can actually rent it as well and stream it, you know, rent the stream. That's cool. You know, lots of different services that offer that. But at the time, still, even sort of mid to late 2000s, you know, DVD was still important. I was still picking up DVDs as well as collecting Blu-ray. So I still had quite a large DVD collection and Blu-ray. So that's just me basically saying I've always loved it. So it's kind of been always with me. So that's one of the main reasons, is that I just love it. Love everything from having it on physical. Another great reason is because you actually own it. And I'm used to having like movies, you know, on a format from a very, very young age. So, and owning it's just, you know, just amazing. Like, it's just the best way to sort of consume your media, I think. Don't get me wrong, I do stream. I have Netflix and other streaming services, you know, like a package on Now TV and things like that. Amazon Prime I've got at the moment. Sometimes I do rotate them, so like I'll have one streaming service, say for example like Disney Plus, for like a couple of months while I catch up on some of their content. When I've seen the majority of what I want to see, I will change over and cancel that, and then have, like, say, Paramount Plus for a couple of months, consume that content, everything I want to sort of see, go back to Disney, cancel Paramount, you know, and vice versa, keep it switching. So basically I'm not spending too much on streaming services, I'm not overwhelmed, but I can have as long as I like to catch up and then cancel one, have another. Netflix is one we always stick with. That one, I'll probably keep Amazon Prime for a while, because sometimes it's very nice when you're in bed. Like, physical is great, but sometimes when I'm in bed I just want to like put a film on via streaming, you know, just put it on get the Fire Stick on and stream something via Shudder, which I also subscribe to, and like Prime. And Prime has a lot of good like horror movies on there. It's got quite a good selection of like ones I haven't seen, you know, some big films and heavy hitters, and also as well as having some more like niche stuff in indie horror. Amazon tend to seem to scoop up quite a bit of indie horror. Some of it is bad, some of times you find hidden gems, you know. So streaming, like, it's a good thing and all that. and I do use it. But yeah, always loved having it on physical because I think it's superior. I think owning the film's much better. Don't forget I also have a digital collection, like on iTunes, where you actually purchase the the digital copy, have it in your library that you can access at any time. But still, at the end of the day, like, I may have paid for that and have it in my digital library, and there should, and I'm sure there's kind of like things in place like rights, as a buyer and stuff. But at the end of the day, if, say, for whatever reason, not that it's going to, but if they decided to pull movies or say that they don't want to do movies anymore, as PlayStation did a while ago. PlayStation, I actually bought one film off on the PlayStation store. It was The Wretched, like a witchcraft movie. That was the only one I had on my PlayStation account. Well, what I'm getting to is this: a service can just say, imagine if iTunes just turned around and said, oh, we're not doing movies anymore. I assume there'd allow people to access what they're paid for, but you never know. I hope I didn't ramble on too much in that area, went on a bit of a tangent. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, they can just pull things. It's same with digital games. Yes, I love the idea, and I do it, of downloading games when they're on offer on the PlayStation Store, say, for example, and being able to just play them straight on the console without inserting a disc. I like that aspect. I do that with some games, and then other games that I really want to have on physical, I will purchase and have the disc. Sometimes it works out cheaper than buying on the store, more often than not. So I like a mix of kind of like digital games and physical. Like, I'm happy to do both because I don't need everything on physical, but yeah, I want to play it. And I don't need I don't want everything on digital because I want to have some of the covers. Because another thing, like, as random as this might sound or what have you, but I'm sure it applies to a lot of people, as I've become more of a collector, so I love physical media to begin with, even something basic like, say, for example, I never used to collect collector's editions when I was younger. I just used to pick up normal releases. Now and then I'd it wasn't really on my mind too much, so now and then I'd just acquire a collector's edition without even being aware. I just wanted to buy the film. That's my initial kind of like way of collecting, say when I was a teen, getting DVDs. So, I like anything from this, something basic, like I just picked out Come to Dad. It's not the best film, but I like a basic release sometimes at a good price just to have the movie. But yeah, I also like, say, I'm trying to find one, like a special edition like this Terrifier 3, like a day one edition. I also like this type of thing. And basically what I'm trying to say is, like, as I become more of a collector, I'm very into the packaging. It's mainly about the film, owning the film on physical for the reasons I sort of said, because you actually own it and whatnot. And in some regard, nobody can really take that away. But as I become more of a collector, I also want to like enhance my collecting habit, because I want to be a good, I want to enjoy it. So now, as well as picking up standard editions, which I will do if it's the only way to have a movie on physical media, but mainly I like to pick up something from a boutique label. You're getting like a quality transfer, like majority of the time, and you're getting like excellent extras if you want to dive into the analysis and information on said film. And you also get the lovely box sets. I'm into that. So packaging plays a big part in my collection. As I become more of a collector, I love like putting out, all the slipcover editions together and the box sets. And I love having the best editions of my favourite films that I can possibly have. Because it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of fulfills my fulfills my thirst for collecting, just having these lovely editions and stuff of your favourite films. It's just amazing. If you're a physical media fan, not everybody likes collecting things in general, and not everybody's always a fan of physical media. But like I say, I've got time for streaming. I do enjoy it, especially when I'm like really knackered and tired and go to bed. It's just great being able to pick up your remote and just stream. You don't have to play around with a disc. But that's one thing I also enjoy, just the physical aspects of putting the disc in the machine, and I get a lot of satisfaction from that. You hear the sound of the tray going back into the player, and it's just click, and it's just a lovely thing. And I'm hoping physical media will always be a part of my life. Might not one day, may not like collect as intensely as I do, because what happens nowadays, like at the minute, I've got some fantastic editions. Yes, I don't own everything, but I've got most of the sort of great horror films that I love on brilliant editions now. Like, either a slipcover edition or a limited edition box set or franchise sets. I've got a lot of it now, and it's kind of, I will admit, like when I kind of, there's certain editions that are coming out of films and things, like I will pre-order, something from Arrow and stuff, like an upgrade to 4K, or perhaps a film I didn't have on Blu-ray or 4K, you know, I've got some pre-orders coming, but when I actually have a general look, when I think, oh, got a little bit of spare money, I'm perhaps going to pick up a couple of Blu-rays at a decent price, you know, whatever editions, I'm just going to look for some films, if you will, that I haven't seen or want to see that are on my watch list, you know. And it's getting more difficult because, like I say, I've got a lot of stuff, and I've mainly got everything, I would say. Not everything, but I've mainly got all of the big horror movies that I want to see, and even the indie horror movies that I want, or the lower, you know, lesser spoken about horror movies that I want, because I'm mainly a horror collector. I do have a non-horror section. I do like other genres of movies, of course. But yeah, it's just like, it's getting harder not to find like boutique labels releasing upgrades, which sometimes I will upgrade an edition. I'll think, yeah, I might treat myself, get myself like a you know, like a limited edition 4K set. I might have the Blu-ray on a normal 4K or a normal Blu-ray, but because it's on a label that I enjoy collecting, I sort of think, yeah, may just upgrade. So I'm okay there. But when it comes to like finding new movies to watch, even sometimes streaming, like on Amazon Prime, I tend to come across more like indie stuff that I haven't seen, that is only available on streaming or digital. And that sometimes is a method that I use now to find new movies. And then if I really like something, I'll see if I can get it on physical. I'll think, yeah, let's have a look. See, you know, in one of the stores, let's see if we can find that film that I've just watched on Blu-ray, maybe add it to the collection physically. But it's getting more and more difficult just generally looking for films on physical media that I have, you know, that I really want. It's getting a little bit more difficult, that is. But yeah, there's a few reasons why I collect. Like I said, you know, I just been with me since I was really young. Physical media, I love it. Everything about it, from the packaging to obviously owning the film myself in a, you know, in a manner that no one can take it away. Yeah, love collecting something. Always like collecting, you know. I'm sure a lot of us, we've got sort of addictive personalities. I know I kind of have in some regard. Like I always get, you know, sometimes like if I get into something, I throw my all into it and go full throttle, and I'm really immersed. You know, whether it's watching my movies or sorting my collection out or playing a video game or this or that, making a video, doing some editing, you know, sometimes I get a little bit, I wouldn't say like obsessive, but I would say like, you know, really immersed in things. So I think a lot of us collectors do have addictive personalities, and that can be really like brilliant and fulfilling, and it can also be a little bit hindering, because sometimes when I've got spare money, I think, well, why am I spending a lot of it on like physical media when I have loads of physical media, or I've already picked up a lot of releases for that month? And I catch myself thinking, you should buy something else or something different. And I do sometimes, I do just that. I do get something different. But yeah, a lot of things where, you know, collecting and just love owning it. Always been with me for majority of the time, that as long as I can remember, should I say. And fan of it, love owning it, love having the film collection, love coming up into the movie room, you know, and seeing all my collection and picking stuff out. Like, I love blind buying because you never know what you're going to get, and you can just sell them or give them to a friend if you don't want them. If you blind buy a movie and you don't like it, it's like a little game. It's a gamble. Like, you're like, it's really fun. You're like, oh yeah, don't get me wrong, as a collector, like, you know, you want to be a bit conscious, of course, and you don't want to spend all your funds or your money or whatever, your wages, whatever. You don't want to like spend it all on like blind buying films that you might not like. But at the end of the day, you know, especially if you're buying like boutique releases, you might lose a few pounds, like, but you'll probably make somewhat of the money back, because, you know, if it's in good nick and like new. I do it myself. Like, if I think, oh, nobody will want that and I don't want to keep it in the collection, it's just a waste of space, I'll just sell it. And like the other day with the stuff on the clear out video, I just sold a lot of it in bulk to a collector for a good price. I was happy with it, he was happy with it, there we go, job done. And I didn't want them in the collection anymore. Some of them were duplicates of films I have on better editions. You know, just had a bit of a clear out and made some money and made some space. Like, it's great, like, you can do that. And yeah, a lot of aspects, yeah, like, yeah. I'm trying to think of some, like, there is a number of other reasons why I collect. I'll probably talk a little bit about like my collecting habits. So predominantly I'm a boutique Blu-ray collector. As I've become more of a collector, like I say, I've wanted the best editions of my favourite films, and also new favourites that I come across on like my film journey, if you will. And I just think to myself, yeah, like, might as well get the best editions. So I tend to collect boutique labels predominantly. That's not to say that I won't pick up a good studio release. Like, say for example, Warner Brothers are doing great releases. You know, sometimes they did the Terminator on 4K in the lovely Steelbook, which I picked up last year, and of course Nightmare on Elm Street in the big box with the Steelbook and the supplements inside. The Exorcist the year prior in 2023, they did that. You know, so studios put out releases I want, like collector's editions, and they also do standard releases I want. A new film might not have a boutique Blu-ray release for years, and I probably will upgrade eventually, but I think to myself, yeah, might as well pick up the studio release for like £15 or wait till it goes down to £10 or under, which is a good price. I do that, you know. It's best, the way I like to watch films really is pick a new one up and get it on Blu-ray, and I'll do just that. But sometimes I will have a look on streaming as well if it hits streaming before. So there, you know, that's my sort of collecting habits now. I mainly go for like looking at like movies I haven't seen that I really want to watch and getting the best release possible, and also like upgrading stuff. You know, if I think, well, I've got a standard Blu-ray of that, it's a really good movie. Obviously I'm into this part of my collecting where I like to have the best edition of the films that I enjoy and love, and I just think, yeah, let's like upgrade this standard release. And you know, I do that sometimes. I'm not upgrading everything. Like I've got a lot of 4Ks now, a lot of limited editions, as you know, a lot of like collector's editions, a lot of standards, plenty of standard Blu-rays. They're not going anywhere because some of them haven't got boutique releases, and I can't upgrade everything. So like, for example, let's just pick a film out here. So for example, like these are just to hand. You've got this. I've never actually watched the film, but it's Jim Carrey in Number 23. I like a bit of Jim Carrey. Great actor. He's done some good films. Good comedy in the 90s. This one, I will watch it sometime, but I'm in no rush. And I picked this up for like $2.50 in like new condition, you know, really good condition. The disc's fine, the case is fine. Say if this gets a boutique release from like, say for example, just let's say Second Sight released Number 23. Is that what? Yep, the Number 23 in one of these box sets, maybe 4K or Blu-ray. I don't need this film on 4K, and I don't need a boutique release. It'll probably be a good film. Not saying it is, whether it is or isn't, because I haven't watched it, but I'm happy just to have the standard. So I won't upgrade everything. Some things I won't upgrade to 4K, and some things I won't upgrade to like, you know, limited editions, because I'm just happy with what I've got. I don't necessarily need the film in that like enhanced presentation, but you know, predominantly, yeah, boutique label collector. Limited editions are my favourites, not because they're limited. I think that whole aspect is rather silly. I don't see why they don't just call them collector's editions and have them readily available for all collectors, or perhaps do a print on demand sort of thing where it might take a month to get it, but they could sort it out. You know, I don't know, like, I don't like the whole limited thing, because it pushes a lot of like collectors out, you know, people who say can't get the release that quick, or perhaps don't want to get it that quick for whatever reason. They're getting something else, but they would like it eventually and they're a fan of it. And it's a shame when they want the limited edition. It's a shame when it's out of print. Like, why not just make enough? Why not just do it as a collector's edition, and then perhaps do like some print runs every so often of them, like a big batch of the on release date of it, see how that goes. And then if it's people are still after it, or you know, trying to pick it up, do another print, you know, run another batch of it and put it out. Like, it's not like you have to waste, they don't have to waste money. They could do it to like, you know, a minimum of like outlay cost. They could just like do it like that, like release date, you know, like they do, but they're limited and never get another release. Yeah, Arrow do standard releases, but they don't measure up to the limiteds, like in comparison, because, you know, they have flimsy boxes. So Arrow, say for example, released like the Vengeance Trails sets, the Western films. I've got the first one. I didn't pick up the limited. That went out of print, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. So I picked up like a good price, and I'm happy to have it on a great label like Arrow. I picked up the standard edition of the set, but it's a flimsy box. Now, it'd be much better if they perhaps made those standard editions a solid box, but not going to complain too much. Even with the flimsy boxes, they are lovely looking sets with the artwork on, very nice in that department, and they have the discs housed in, you know, proper like thin amaret cases, like 11mm spine ones, and they're fine. But it's just, you know, I'm just I don't like the whole limited thing, is what I'm trying to get to. So I'll stop beating around the bush, and I'll just say not keen on the whole limited thing. Yes, they're my favourite editions because they're the best, like they get the best treatment, but as a collector I'd rather the limited edition with collector's editions that were readily available for collectors when they want them. And yeah, so there's some of my things to do with collecting habits. You know, I love media books too. Like, I pick up like a few media books now and then. I'm not a huge media book collector or steelbook collector, but I do like to pick up one that looks really nice, and I will like think, yeah, I want that film. It's on media book, and I'll get it, or the artwork's lovely, you know, a number of reasons. Love the artwork on the boutique label releases, you know. It's hard because sometimes I think, don't really need to upgrade that, but then a better edition comes out, you know, pretty much similar features sometimes, but the artwork's just so appealing to me, and I'm just like, oh, I want that in my collection. And yeah, and sometimes it can get a bit insane, this collecting, can't it? I love it, and I'm going to keep doing it, but I think I need to like fine tune it a little bit sometimes, and that's what I'm trying to do at the minute. Just been doing a bunch of rearranging and organising in the room, put all my like sort of slipcover like label editions together and box sets and things, so it all looks nice on the shelves. Then we're going to have like non-slip cover label editions together, and you know, just standard releases, studio releases, things like that. So just doing a bit of sorting out, mixing up in the room, switching things about, yeah, like, you know, just reorganizing in general. Yeah, I think I've gone on long enough anyway. I was only going to do about 8 to 10 minutes, but I can do more of these videos. I can just sit here and talk about like different things. I can even talk about different reasons why I collect. I tried to give you a few reasons. I hope that was a good video. Yeah, well, I'm going to go and try and cool down a bit because the heating came on again, and it's got far too hot. You know, because we're now kind of in the early stages of entering spring. It's warming up a little bit outside and things, and it's, you know, inside, like having the heating on like for too long, it's making me sweat now. And it's not, you know, it's not even summertime or anything. But yeah, thanks for voting for this one, guys. I've actually enjoyed doing it. I've rabbited on for long enough, so that's that. Yeah. I'll see you on the next video. I'll be doing something when I do it. That's how this channel works. Yes, I will be, you know, I do prioritise certain content on the channel and get it out, but, you know, there could be something any day. I do it very kind of like, you know, for my enjoyment and like therapy, even, if you will. Like, this is quite therapeutic, just talking about like why I collect and things, if you know what I mean. It's good, you know, if you have a YouTube channel, you'll probably get me when I say it's a little bit therapeutic. Yeah, cool. Of course, like, yeah, lots of different content on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to. And yeah, thanks for watching if you have, and even if you've watched the whole duration of the video, thanks for sticking with me. Really enjoyed it. Good one to vote for. Okay, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.